This video will almost certainly get demonetized by YouTube because it features airsoft guns. If you want to help the BB Warrior and get some great perks like getting able to watch videos early, consider becoming a channel member. Link in the description. Today I'm going to give you guys a few tips for increasing the range and accuracy of your airsoft gun. By improving these, you're going to be able to make more hits and be a much more effective player on the airsoft field. So let's get right into it in today's video. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane and welcome back to the BB Warrior. We're here to help you have a better time both on and off the airsoft field through our educational content. If you enjoy the videos that we create here, I'd love it if you joined our community by hitting that subscribe button down below or even considering becoming a channel member to get some great perks. More information about that is in the description. But one of the first things I want to talk about for today when trying to increase the range and the grouping and consistency of your airsoft replica is a myth that I hear thrown around all the time that I want to dispel. And that is, well, all you need to do to increase your range is increase your FPS. But that's not the entire story. Now don't get me wrong, if you had two identical airsoft guns and the only thing that you did to change them was reducing the spring power in one of them, yes, that would not shoot as far. But again, that's not the entire story, and there are other things that you can improve in your airsoft gun to give you better range and overall better consistency and improving your hit probability on enemy players. Those are going to be your barrel, your hop-up unit and everything that goes into that, and as well your BBs, which aren't a part of the airsoft gun but play a critical role in your overall accuracy. So by increasing the quality of your barrel and hop-up, and this is one of those parts of your airsoft gun, if you're going to upgrade anything in it, this is what I always recommend first, because not only does it not involve removing the gearbox, but there are some companies that will do entire pre-builds of a barrel and hop-up setup that all it is dropping it into the airsoft gun and you're ready to go. But by improving these, you're going to greatly improve your accuracy and increase your groupings, and it's actually one of the more affordable things that you can do to your gearbox and doesn't require as much tech experience. That being said, if you're not comfortable with it, there are pre-built options, or I would hand it off to your local tech to do for you, because it's very easy to screw up and ruin the compression and make the accuracy of your airsoft gun even worse. So whenever you're getting this sort of thing, buy the best that you can afford. For barrels, Prometheus is kind of the gold standard in my opinion. That's one of the ones that I will throw in most of my builds. There are other options out there, such as ZCI, Mad Bull barrels are okay. And then for your hop-up unit, ProWin has been out forever, the Max hop-ups. There's a lot of great options out there, but pretty much your goal is going to be to make sure to get the most consistency and get the most range. Your objective is going to be the ability to hop heavier BBs. And the reason why a heavier BB is important is that it doesn't get affected by the wind as much, and it's going to help out greatly with your consistency. So for me, I think that the lightest BB that most people should be using once they've upgraded their barrel and hop up is going to be a 0.32 gram BB. Not only are they available from a wide variety of brands, but they're going to be great at resisting the wind, and they do pretty good at resisting the brush. If you're trying to shoot through some bushes or something to hit an enemy player, lighter weights like a 0.2 or a 0.25 gram BB really aren't going to cut it, and you're not going to hit that player. That being said, if you have a stock airsoft gun, I would realistically try a 0.28 gram BB. I know a lot of people are hesitant to get into the higher weight BBs because they cost more money, but hear me out. The advantages that you get from having them are going to greatly outweigh the extra couple of dollars that you spent on it, considering that you probably spend a ton of money on something else in airsoft that is completely unnecessary, like Gucci Cries or, a really expensive optic for the gun. I feel like BBs are one of those things that spending a little bit more gets you the most benefit in airsoft. If you have a really good hop-up setup with maybe an R-hop or an MR hop, something like that, you could easily get away with pushing 0.40 gram BBs out of your airsoft gun, and with that, you're going to have some incredible range and some incredible accuracy. But by combining a good barrel, a good hop-up, and then using nice heavyweight BBs, you're going to have a much more consistent airsoft gun. And it's not just having range that is important in airsoft. I want to make that clear. Just because you can send a BB over 200 feet doesn't mean that you're going to be able to hit somebody. You also need that consistency and you need that grouping. And this can be improved by just, making sure that the contact on the hop-up is done right, making sure that you did a good job on it, and also having that high quality barrel, because if you're reaching 225 feet and your grouping is this big, you're not going to be as useful as the guy who's hitting, maybe a little bit less, but his grouping is still like this. It's not just enough to put some good parts into your airsoft gun, but you also need to make sure that you're maintaining everything. You should regularly clean out your inner barrel, as well as making sure that all of your other parts are up to snuff, that your shimming job is fantastic in the gearbox, because you don't want any of these things to play into the overall quality, consistency, and accuracy of your airsoft gun. So overall, they're going to be great things to improve the range and accuracy of your airsoft gun, there are also some other things to consider within the actual gearbox to just make the gun overall better that I do want to talk about real quick. Improving the compression by improving the parts that are in your gearbox are going to make sure that you can take the most advantage of what you have in there. You don't want to be losing that energy and losing that air seal before it even gets to the hop up, because then you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage. I'd also heavily recommend that you get some sort of MOSFET, combining that with a better motor than what comes out of the box, and as well a high quality lithium polymer or lithium ion battery. All of those are going to make sure that your gun is nice and snappy, you have good trigger response, and your compression is going to be great, so that everything before the BB even hits the barrel, it's going to make sure that everything is nice and consistent, which is also going to play into your grouping and your overall accuracy. If your FPS is jumping all over the place, well, you're not going to be able to land hits as accurately as somebody who has a nice compressed gearbox, has a great MOSFET in there, and has a really consistent, within 5 FPS for each shot, maybe even lower than that if they're running HPA. But overall, those are just a couple of tips if you want to improve the quality of your airsoft gun. If you're looking to get some additional range, if you're trying to close in your grouping, that is what I'd recommend. The hop-up and barrels of airsoft guns are very much precision parts. They're the parts that you want to get right, and easily one of the things that I'd recommend upgrading first, because again, they don't require you to open the gearbox, and it's one of those things that for the money, you're going to see the most results. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. What are your own pieces of advice for increasing the accuracy of your airsoft gun? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below. But you might be asking yourself, well, what do I watch next? Well, I definitely recommend checking out a viewer favorite video right up here, or again, if you're brand new to the channel, even considering subscribing by hitting the button down here. But my name is Lane, talking about some ways to increase the range of your airsoft gun, and I'll see you all next time.